I was in my office, heard a call that there was a possible bank robbery in Princeton. Said the person went east from the German bank there in downtown Princeton, so I thought I'd go out east, just kind of checking some of the county roads. Got over by Francisco, went north on, I believe it was County Road 550 east. Seen a white truck. They had a pretty good description of the vehicle and the suspect. And so I'm going north. I slowed down, let him pull out in front of me, checked his plate. The vehicle matched the description, so I just followed him because I didn't have any backup out there at that time. I had a detective not too far away, so I wanted to let him get caught up with me. So I followed him. He gave me turn signals. Everyone tracks he was going, didn't speed or anything. Then one of my detectives caught up with me, then another Oakland City police officer caught up. And then he decided he got on the gravel road. I turned my lights on because he was speeding up. I knew he was going to run. And so we chased him all through Pike County, back down through Gibson County. We literally went across the cornfield, then back on the county roads, excess of 100 miles an hour. He did hit one vehicle up in northern Gibson County. Of course, he kept on going. We finally got to US 41. He went south in the northbound, running people off the road. We had, of course, by that time, we had several units involved from the state police, the sheriff's office, Princeton police, and I can't name all of them, but there was a bunch. And so we cut through downtown Patoka, and then we turned because we seen the railroad lights come on, and went back to the side street. Then went off road, come back out by 41, got back on 41, still going southbound, crossed over the Patoka River. They deployed stop sticks numerous times, and he was able to evade those. Got through the Toyota area. He's still southbound, northbound lanes. We're trying to get traffic stopped. We got a lot of agencies involved. So finally, state police were able to get I believe their Mustang, was able to do a pit maneuver on him, which got him wrecked. Of course, the vehicle was right behind us. He then fled across Highway 41 and went east. A couple of officers chased him and were able to catch him right at the edge of the woods. The Princeton police officer did, Travis, and he did taser him to get him to stop because he was continuing to run. He would not stop on commands. And after they tased him, that was able to get him to, they were able to apprehend him and get him cuffed, and he was on his way to get to county jail.
Do you think that he was trying to get the chase called off by driving the southbound in the northbound lane?
I think he was trying to hope that we wouldn't chase him, but we stayed in we actually went south in the southbound lanes on the regular side of the road until we got down to Patoka. And then when it cut back over Patoka, then a couple of us had to switch over. He looked a couple times like slowing down and maybe trying to pull off and take another road, but he was going too fast. He couldn't really get a turn. But most of the speeds were between 80 and 100 almost all the time.
We had heard a shot was fired. Is that true?
One of our deputies did shoot at him, when I say at him, at the vehicle, at the rear tires to try to deflate them. Of course, that didn't do any good. And like I say, they probably just deployed stop sticks at least 4 to 5 times, and he was able to get around them.
Did he have any other weapons on him?
I haven't searched the vehicle. The armed robbery, or attempted armed robbery that came in, the call was that he displayed a shotgun. He did have his mask over his face, had a hoodie on, and he did not get any money, much to my knowledge, from the bank.
Do you know what time that was?
That would have probably been around 10:30 this morning. And I think I saw him probably about 10:45 is when we first saw him, and then actually I followed him probably for 10 minutes before we actually got into a pursuit.
Which bank was it?
German American Bank in Princeton.
Was it on Broadway?
On Broadway, just a block off the square.
Was there any moment in time where you thought about calling the chase off? No. Determined to get him?
Well, I mean, the fact that he was an alleged armed robber, the fact that he was going excessive speeds on county roads up to 80 and 90, he was going to eventually hit somebody, and we don't want that to happen. We don't want a citizen to get hurt. That was our number one fear, that he would hit somebody head on, going south in the northbound lane. That was a big concern.
How surprised are you that that did not happen?
I'm sorry?
How surprised are you that that did not happen?
Well, I'm just thanking God that, people, he was out watching for civilians today, that didn't happen. I mean, there was numerous times that people had really had to completely get off the road to keep from getting hit by him. But, God was watching out for us today.
US 41, yeah, this is one of the busiest places for anything like this to happen. How'd that hurt you?
Well, absolutely. I mean, they wanted to do a pit maneuver on him farther north up here, but traffic was a big concern, and we were not going to do that kind of maneuver with, head-on traffic coming right at us on southbound. So we waited till he finally got back in the southbound lane going southbound, and we got traffic all stopped. So we had, wasn't worried about if we hit him, that he would go and not hit another car. That was our big concern. So that worked out. State Police did a good job on that.
Sorry, can you explain what a pit maneuver exactly is?
Pit maneuver is basically a police car comes up behind, hits one of the corners of the rear bumper, and it literally spins them around, and that's a pit maneuver.
How dangerous is that?
It's dangerous for anybody to try, but the state police and sheriff's offices, city police, we all go through a lot of training to deal with that type of maneuver, and the officer that got up right with him, with the state police, had done that maneuver and was trained in it and performed it. It worked out just like it was supposed to.
This is spans 3 counties. At what point was it full force, like you had, I'm seeing good 20, 30 cars out here?
I would say it's probably one time. I'm sure there was at least 30 police cars involved. Now, they may not all been, right behind him, but there was officers trying to stop the northbound traffic so nobody gets hit, head on.
Will you be releasing the name later on today?
As soon as I find out with him, I'll let you know.
What's the sound like?
This vehicle was stolen from Petersburg this morning, and they had been actually the Petersburg Sheriff's Office and the Petersburg Police, Pike County Sheriff's Office. They've been looking for this vehicle all morning, and that was exactly, it was off one letter on the license plate from the description from the bank, so they did a good job of getting that. That helps.
And the suspect, did he ever use the shotgun that he had to open fire on law enforcement?
No. I never saw any display of any weapon. A lot of times we were actually right beside him. I don't want to say it amused me, but at times he was so nonchalant about it that he had his one hand up on the steering wheel, and the other one just on the side there, just like he's driving a Sunday cruise, and we're doing about 100 miles an hour. And I thought that was extremely odd, that the guy would just take it so nonchalant and not concerned about what's going to happen.
I'm sorry, have you confirmed that he did have that shotgun?
I can't answer that. I just know that he displayed one at the bank.
Okay.
Now, what they've done on the search of the vehicle, I can't answer that because I'm not been involved.
You mentioned, we were starting kind of joking around saying this isn't your first rodeo, but in all your years of law enforcement, tell me about this case. Is it one of the bigger ones?
Yeah, it's one of the longer ones. We've had some other ones I've been involved in. They seem to always end up right around Pike and Gibson County for some reason, because it's a rural area. But we had one with a Darby a couple of years ago, and it was a pretty big pursuit. But this one here is probably the longest one. It was over an hour, and for a pursuit to last that long at 100 miles an hour and 80 miles an hour, cutting through fields and doing a little off-road, that's a long pursuit.
How long did you spend against traffic or in the...
Well, I can tell you from about 3 miles north of Patoka all the way down to just south of the interstate. That's several miles.
How lucky were you to just come upon him like that? I mean, that doesn't happen very often.
You get these feelings once in a while. Just something told me it's time to go up around Wheeling. They said he went east. I thought, well, maybe he'll just cut through. And a lot of times they like to go through the cross country. They get off the state highways. You're not going to find them on the state highway. Very rare. And this is probably I'd say this is about the 5th bank robbery we've had in the last, I'd say 4 years. And fortunately, every one of them's been caught. And so we're pretty pleased with that.
Now that he's been apprehended, is he I'm assuming he's in jail by
He's headed to the jail in Princeton, at Gibson County Jail.
Okay. I was going to say, now what happened? I see traffic, so that delays the traffic.
Well,
truck's still here. Most cars are still here.
Yeah. Well, everybody's just kind of going over what happened. They're trying to work the wreck because of the accident with the state police car and that pickup truck. It's actually, it's a crime scene. They're checking for evidence, obviously looking for a shotgun or any other, maybe his mask that he wore, his jacket, the hoodie. those kind of things. But he wasn't going to stop. I mean, like I said, they had to tase him to get him to stop.